All right, so this is my updated Appmon deck list with all of the support that has been announced for BT-21 World Convergence. And I'm pretty happy with how the deck's going so far. Kind of the biggest drawback in testing is you need so many pieces. You only have 4 tamers. And so if you really want to maximize those plays, it's you got to hope to draw into those pieces. There's plenty of searchers. There's plenty of draw engine in here. As a matter of fact, I have decked out a couple times with this deck. But we'll jump right into the list, starting with the egg. We're running 4 Swipemon. Swipemon, once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked, draw 1. That is mandatory. You have plenty of draws whenever you're searching, or whenever, you're searching, you're using your app link, you're using your Haru, you're digivolving and fusing, and then Swipemon to add to it. So you do have plenty of draw power. It's just because there's so many pieces needed in this deck, that's kind of the biggest shortcoming of the deck so far. Next up is going to be Gachmon. We're playing 4 of this. Once per turn, when the Digimon is linked, or gets linked, if you have 1 or fewer tamers, you may play 1 Haru. That's for free. The app link effect is raid. I don't think that's ever really come up, but it's one of those things that it's good to have and not need, rather than need and not have. And that's 4 Gachmon. And then, of course, 4 Navimon. So Navimon is the general searcher. You get to add a Appmon trait and an app driver trait from the top 3 to hand, bottom deck the rest. And the only app drivers right now are the tamer, but being able to search an Appmon and a tamer is still really good. The link effect is piercing. Again, one of those things that doesn't really come up. Really, Navimon is more for if you just need to dig as deep as possible for your tamer, and then link into your Gachmon for your standard play. Next up is Watchmon. We're playing 2 of those. So Watchmon on play until your opponent's turn ends, one of their Digimon can't attack. Same thing when linking, so on play or when linking. This card it's good. It's a really strong effect in very niche scenarios, but the ones that it's important in, it does make a huge difference in the game. If I were trying to cut something, Watchmon probably is one of the Digimon that I would cut, but I'd probably look for other spaces as well. I do like playing 2 of Watchmon, if not just for the name and trait. I like it for this effect in certain matchups, especially at my locals. Now, it depends on what the meta is, if I'm going to like a big event or something like that. But at my locals, the Watchmon does come up. And it's worth noting that with Watchmon and this stun effect, so if raid is a popular mechanic, this does help prevent your opponent from raiding, because they do have to attack something before they switch the target for raid. And if the only Digimon you have out are suspended, or unsuspended, then they would have to attack security first. So Watchmon prevents that. And then next up we have 1 Calendarmon. Security at the end of battle. Play this card without paying the cost. Your turn, all your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3k DP. It's a good effect. I really do like it. It's just one of those effects that you don't get to see it too often, and you would much rather link other stuff than this. And this is another one of those flex spots that if I had to cut even 1 card, this is almost immediately the first thing that I'm cutting. So once they announce new support for this deck, Calendarmon is probably going to be the first one to go. And then we're playing 3 Ukomon. Ukomon is just great for searching the deck, getting into your pieces. Right now, with only 1 tamer, the Ukomon is just really good for searching and not having to hard play the Navimon. And also, it does feel like a waste of an egg, but there's a really cool combo with Ukomon later that I'll show you that involves the Ukomon swinging and potentially being deleted, and then making use of that egg that you have in your trash. All right, jumping into the level 4s, we got 4 Dogachmon. So Dogachmon, bread and butter combo, got Rush, Raid. When this Digimon gets linked or is linked, the Digimon may attack. And so this triggers your combo for closing out plays. This triggers your Gaimon combo. This is just an all-around good card. And this pairs well with Taimon. Taimon is Definitely if you have to hard digivolve because you don't have the Gotcha Navi combination, um, Timon is the better Digimon to hard digivolve into. It does have a really good effect as well to de-digivolve one whenever it gets linked or is linked. The cost to digivolve is 2 compared to Dogotch, which is 3, so you save a little memory there as well, and I use Timon very often. Actually, one of the reasons that I cut Calendarmon is once I get to, for example, the level 5s, Timon is just really good for helping deal with my opponent's board as opposed to trying to swing for security +1 with Globon or something like that. And so next up, we're running 3 Scopemon. So Scopemon is one of the ones that wasn't in the first iteration of this deck. It literally had gotten announced maybe like the day or so after I posted my first video. But Scopemon is really good. On play, when digivolving, place 1 card with the Appmon or 3 Musketeers trait from your hand or trash as one of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards, and then gain a memory. And this is a card that's meant to go into Three Musketeers along with, I think it's the Telemon, and there's another Digimon whose name I can't remember, but it's probably one of my favorite arts for these Atmon. Oh, Shopmon. And so Shopmon, Scope, and Satella are meant for Three Musketeers, but you can play them in this deck as well. You don't get a lot of benefit from the other two, but Scope, it's just has so much utility. It is draw power if you need it. I haven't felt like I've needed it yet, but we'll see. It really depends, and Uko stops me from having to hard link the Scope in order to draw to Trash 2, which is its link effect. Now, if you are using Ukomon, and you promote the Ukomon, you get your search, and then you swing at your opponent's security, and the Ukomon is deleted, you're going to have that Swipemon and Trash. You can play the Scopemon for 4, attach the Swipemon from Trash to the Scopemon, and then gain a memory, essentially giving you a level 4 Digimon for 3 cost. So really good combo. Your opponent would have to either deal with it, or you get extra value for going up to level 5 and 6 even faster if it stays on your field throughout the turn. And then we're playing 3 Gossipmon. Gossipmon on play, when digivolving and when linking, you may return 1 Digimon card with Appmon trait in the trash to the hand. So unfortunately, it doesn't return Tamers if you trash them off your option, but it's still great card. You will end up trashing a lot of the pieces that you need, and Gossipmon can recover those. It does have a security effect at the end of battle. Play this card without paying the cost, which does come up. Even though you're only playing 3, if your opponent hits it, you're most likely going to have something in your trash that you can recover. And then onto the level 5s, we are playing 4 Globemon. So security tag +1. The app fusion material for this is Dogotchmon and Taimon, which those are the ones you're playing 4 of. Out of the level 5s, this is probably the only one that you can app fuse into. Um, on play, when digivolving, you may link 1 level 4 lower Digimon card from hand or this Digimon's Digivolution cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. A lot of times it's going to be the Taimon or it's going to be the Gossipmon. It's going to be something to facilitate your plays even further. And then once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked or is linked, then you can delete a Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon, which comes up more often than I expected. So that is such a good effect. And this is one of the 2 level 5s that we play. So the other one is Charismon. With Charismon, this is a blocker. It needs Sociamon and Gossipmon to app fuse. I don't play the Sociamon. I'm not a huge fan of it. I know some people do play it. They like what it gives them, but that's again personal preference. And they both your level 5s have really good effects. It's really difficult sometimes when clearing opponents' boards to figure out which one is the optimal Digimon to go into, but they both are really great. And so Charismon is on play when digivolving. Link a level 4 Digimon from your trash or this Digimon's Digivolution cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. And then your turn, once per turn when this Digimon gets linked, give one of your opponent's Digimon start of your main phase. This Digimon attacks until your turn ends. And so we combine this with Ace Play. Uh, Charismon's a blocker if you need to do that in order to delete opponent's Digimon just by course of battle. And then the link effect is all turns, once per turn, with this Digimon will leave the battle area. By trashing one of this Digimon's link cards, it doesn't leave. That is a really good effect, and it is one of those effects that comes up enough times where sometimes I'm even linking this into my Dogachmon or my Globemon just to give it another turn on the field. Going on to level 6s, we got 4 Gaiamon. So it is a blocker. It does get Link +1. And then when Digivolving, when attacking, you may link one Digimon card with Appmon trait from your hand or this Digimon's Digivolution cards to one of your Digimon without paying the cost. When it says one of your Digimon, usually it's Gaiamon you're linking it to. I haven't run into a situation where I link it to something else, but if needed, you can. And then your turn, once per turn, when your Digimon gets linked by unsuspending this card, or by unsuspending this Digimon, trash your opponent's top security card. So you go into this, you use Link Dogachmon, probably from your sources, declare an attack, use the when attacking, link another card to unsuspend, trash the card. So now it's not suspended during your opponent's turn. And then you get the security check. So you're getting 2 checks out of this. The requirements for Gaimon are Globemon and Charismon, which is a very easy requirement to meet once you get to that level 5 space. And then as your ace, we're playing 2 Shadow Seraphi Ace. So usually you're using this alongside Charismon. You can go over Globemon with this, by the way, but it's not common. Um, so Charismon's going to force one of your opponent's Digimon to attack. You'll blast Digivolve on top of this thing, and you're going to have blocker, but you're going to de-Digivolve up to 3 on one of your opponent's Digimon. And then when attack targets change, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5k DP for their turn. So you could potentially block and then delete one of their other bodies. Or you can, if you're already blocked, you're at least, or if you're already suspended because you attacked with Charismon, you're at least getting the de-Digivolve 3, stopping their plays a little bit from progressing. All right, so that's all the Digimon. And then we have our Tamer, which is for Haru. It's a memory setter. And when your Digimon gets linked by suspending this Tamer, draw one. Then one of your Digimon may fuse into a Digimon card in the hand. So the draw comes up quite often. And early in the game, I'm already having trouble remembering to just draw because I'm so focused on I don't need the fusion, but it's just a really good draw. And late in the game, when I do remember, I'm drawing too much when I don't need to. So I should probably remember just not to use that effect until I absolutely need it. But once you start finding the pieces, they do stay in your hand and you don't really need to draw as much anymore. So kind of one of the skill pieces of this deck is figuring out when to stop using Haru so much. And then the option is for App Link. So when this Digimon or Tamer with the Appmon trait on the field, you can ignore this card's color requirements. Don't forget that Swipemon's an Appmon, and the breeding area is considered the field for this. So you can play this even if you have no level 3s. But main, reveal the top 3 of your deck, add 1 card with the Appmon or App Driver trait among them, trash the rest, then place this card in the battle area. The only downside I see to this is if like I hit the Haru, but I also hit another piece that I need, well, if I choose that other piece, the Haru goes to the trash and there's no real way to recover it as of right now. And then end of your turn delay, you may link 1 card from your hand with one of your Digimon without paying the cost. That's comes up quite often, and it's really good, especially if you're trying to go into the Diamond and you've already passed turnover, or you're trying to play your Haru with the Gachmon that you hard played, and you kind of have your setup in the back. It's there's a lot of different scenarios where the app link really works. But one of the key things to keep in mind is that if you want to close out the game with Dilgachmon, to keep an app link set up in the back ready to go, and that way you can use it with your Dilgachmon, with hard playing your Dilgachmon and getting your final attack off that. There's been like twice that I've used it, and it's definitely come in handy. Whereas all the other times, Gaimon itself was able to clear the security and call it a day at that. But this is the current list. Can't wait for the new sport. Can't wait to post some gameplay videos as well. And I'll be working on learning this deck along with Vortex Warriors. So stay tuned for those videos.